Hi everyone, and welcome to the very first of our How Do You Do series, where I'm with Estelle Michaelides from the Estelle store and also fashion designer of fabulous Australian label Micky In the. Thank you for coming
Oh, it's my
to sharing with us
pleasure.
today.
Thank you
Very
so much.
exciting.
Thank you.
So, the first in our How Do You Do series, Estelle is going to talk us through how to do a fashion illustration. So, this is the start of the process to making a design product of any sort. So we're really excited that she's going to show us how easy it is to do a fashion illustration today from scratch. So that'll be great. But first of all, let's get to know Estelle a little bit more. So when did you get into sort of fashion illustration, fashion design?
Well, I studied fashion design many years ago, 1990 at RMIT.
Great.
But actually started doing millinery after that and made a career out of that for about 15 odd years.
Great.
And then I opened up the Estelle store. And it was almost an organic process to return back to fashion design. I found a niche in the market and just found it, like as I said, it was just an organic movement, returning back to my roots. It's what I know, it's what I've always known, and it was a really delight to delve back into designing again. So that was in 2012 I started Micky In the.
Great. And when you say your niche, what would you say your niche is?
It's using beautiful fabrics, um, simple cuts, and always maintaining that element of beauty and grace in every design, and not to isolate demographic, and to make it available and appealing to a wide market, and also to have it made locally. That's
wonderful.
Really important.
Okay, that's amazing. Lovely Australian made, Australian design. That's what we love.
Yep.
Okay, so what inspires your designs from sort of scratch? What gets you going?
I think I'm so pleased that it actually did take me so long to return back to designing, because I have an element of maturity and an element of respect now for my craft. So with designing, I don't follow trends, and I don't follow, like gypsies dancing around a campfire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have themes for every collection. It just comes from a deeper place within me. So I guess, every design has a part of me in it. It's what my loves, my passions, my hopes, my ideals of what a woman should look like, and how she should embrace her own beauty. And I just want to accentuate that. So it really is just an extension of me, and they come to exist as I evolve as well.
Fabulous. That's just lovely. And you can see from the store behind us just how beautiful Estelle's work is in every way. So that's lovely. So tell us more about fashion illustration and why it's such an integral part of starting the design process.
For me, illustration has always been kind of like my safe place. It's what I've always done. I can even remember as a kid, I used to draw on my bedroom walls, much to my mum's despair. For me, it's my safe place, and it's where I find solace and peace and serenity. And as soon as the pen touches the paper, I find myself diving into a sea of peace, and it takes me to another world. And in that world, that's where I find my greatest inspiration.
Fabulous. Sounds like a great world to live in. It's wonderful.
Some may say that I'm a dreamer.
That's lovely though. So historically, fashion illustration has been part of many major labels, such as Chanel and Valentino. Exactly.
Yep.
So what is it about what they do that really influences their designs, and how does that work for you? And what does the fashion illustration process? What's the value of it in the whole start process?
It's almost as though it's an old art. I think artists and designers in our current time use a lot of. I'm technically inept, so I don't even know what the correct words are. But I think that they do a lot on the computer.
Right. Yes.
And the old art of hand illustration and designing in that way is such a beautiful craft and a beautiful art, and it's almost sacred.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen like a Lagerfeld
Yeah.
draw?
Amazing.
It's
beautiful.
breathtaking.
Yeah,
It really is. And you know, he's an artist, and his illustrations are pieces of artwork.
Once they're finished, they're just
They're
ready for framing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Okay. Well, thank you for that quick overview of you, Estelle, and
Thank
your
you.
background and history. Let's get into the actual illustrating process.
Wonderful.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to it. Let's go.
Cool. Okay, so here we are, ready to begin fashion illustrating. Where do we start?
Sometimes for me, and it would be quite easy and helpful for others as well, to go through old magazines or new magazines just to get an inspiration of female form.
Great.
I collect magazines. This is one of my favourites. It's Italia Vogue from 2003.
Oh, wow.
Look, even fashion photography, this
Elegant.
can be
So
framed.
beautiful.
It's just divine, and it's timeless as well.
Yeah.
Harper's Bazaar from 1993 as well.
Almost a flare there.
Yeah, which is all coming back.
Yeah, okay.
So I've just a few pages just to give you an idea of how you can use photographs like this to be inspired
That's
by
fabulous.
female form.
Beautiful. That's almost 20s, that one there as well.
It
beautiful.
does. And it's a timeless grace.
Yeah.
So perhaps we can maybe use, that's divine as well.
Okay.
Perhaps we can maybe use this, because I love the way that
Beautiful.
the sleeve drapes and the way that she's standing. So
And that's 2003.
this is 2003.
Wow,
Can you see
that's
that?
beautiful. Yeah, that's great. Lovely.
So
Okay, so you're going to use that
we'll
to
use
show us how to
this.
do an illustration.
Absolutely. So we'll use that as our guide.
Great.
First and foremost, we just start off with grey lead lines.
Right.
And that we can just use, we can do an oval for the head, and we do a line straight down the centre, and then we can just estimate where her shoulders will be, where her chest will be, where her waist will be, and her hips. And that will be our essential guide.
I honestly think even I could do that, and I'm really bad at drawing.
You
so there
can
you go.
do it.
Wow, okay,
You
great.
can do it. I use watercolour. I love it.
Beautiful.
So we can just use a really fine brush just to start off with. I start with the head. Now, let's say a reverse J, a reverse letter J.
Okay, yep.
And elongate the neck. Just so you know, fashion illustration, it's not portraits, it's not a still life. So you can accentuate the movement, you can elongate the neck, protrude the hip, and I think that the more accentuated, the far more effective the illustration is.
Beautiful.
There's no right or wrong, it's open to interpretation.
Yes. Oh, it's beautiful already.
So we'll just do the drape of the dress. And so this is where her chest will be, so I'm using that line.
Right.
And then this is her waist. And I think that I might even bring the hip out even more.
Really accentuated,
Exactly.
as you said.
Yep. And she's got her shoulders raised, so to raise the shoulder and have one hand on her hip. It's all about the movement, and you can be as rough as you like.
Wow, it's just beautiful already.
And the wonderful thing is that from a distance, it's just divine.
Yeah.
Just create a really beautiful silhouette. And you can be as detailed as you like, or you can even leave it as simple as this,
yes.
and it's still just as
effective. It really reflects this design that you've got over there.
Yeah. And the gown just has such beautiful drape, so you can just work with that as well. And now with the face, I don't show an entire face, most probably because I don't think I could even manage symmetry. So I always do half a face, but I kind of like that anyway because it adds a sense of mystery and intrigue as well. So with the eyebrow, it's like an upside down V. And then with the eye, you just tick up. Ticks.
Beautiful.
2 dots for the nostrils and the mouth. There we go.
Wow, you just gave her a face with a few strokes.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I think with my history with millinery, I always tend to do headwear and lots of feathers as opposed to hair. So you can just, once again, really accentuate it over the top if you want it to be, and just add just a few feathers as well.
Wow. You say this is easy, but I also think you have a real talent here.
It's been something that I've done for many years, but I think it doesn't have to make sense. Like it's illustration. Like I said, you can accentuate the movement. I think it's almost like an ideal of a woman with grace, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And then even with the hands, it's just a few little strokes.
Wow. It's just so impressive how a couple of strokes makes an entire body
Absolutely, part, absolutely. And then with a thicker brush, I'm just going to do some heavier shading as well. Being left-handed, I have to be mindful that I don't smudge it, which is a hazard. And then, if you like, once again, you just go over it with some really fine detail, just to highlight perhaps more the drape.
Yep. And with the shading, you've really accentuated like lightness, light and dark.
Yes, absolutely.
It's amazing. Simple few strokes. Bring it to life.
And sometimes I also use a pen, particularly for the face, just to highlight the delicate eyelashes and the mouth as well. So just outline it. You can even just do a little bit more shading just with a pen. So you can see how rough it is, but it works.
Yeah, it really does.
It's incredible. And then if you wanted to, just to make it a bit more fun, you can just add a bit of
Oh, wow.
splash.
Yep. Love it. It looks
Finishing
really
touches.
handmade and beautiful. That is a piece of art.
And there we have it.
You're an artist, Estelle. That is just gorgeous.
Thank you. And don't forget to sign your work as well and date it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for showing us how simple it is, although, as I say, I think it did take a little bit more talent than you're letting on. It's beautiful and it really is a piece of art, and Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
That's wonderful.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that really inspiring lesson on how to be an illustrator.
Oh, thank you. And I expect to see one of your illustrations framed very soon.
I don't think we'll put that through anyone through that torture, but yours definitely. And we're really excited to see what happens with the next sort of round of Micky in the Van and where the Estelle store goes. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so
Awesome.
much. I had so much fun
Lovely.
with you. Thank you.
See you all soon.
Bye.